Well, I saw this in our Discord earlier. It looks like there may be some drama, some Star Citizen drama, some space nerd drama. I love good drama. Looks like it's between Montoya and SaltEMike. What's new, says Rev. Right, dude, right. You remember when people, like, remember when Morph, remember the bomb controversy and people got upset because I was like, what Morph said about it was ridiculous, and that turned into like a fucking drama. There's always some type of drama, right? Now we got Montoya and SaltEMike here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to watch because I'm not aware of what's happening. But Montoya says, oh, damn. Do I need to do a react to a rack? How does this work? Well, we know all about that. We know how to do that, but we're enhancing. Then SaltEMike says, you would have had to react to the first one for that to make sense. Ooh, spicy. Let's see here. Let's check out what's going to happen. Let's see it.
Okay, we're going to start out with a comment from Twitch chat from Danger Vince. A lie can travel around the world quicker than the truth can get its pants on. The only reason I am discussing this is because
a lie can travel. What's this saying? Hold on a second. What?
Its pants on.
What? What? Is that a saying? Hold on.
We're going to start out with a comment from Twitch chat from Danger Vince. A lie can travel around the world quicker than the truth can get its pants on. The only reason...
I'm going to have to give that a fail for a quote. I don't even... I'm going to also give that a salad vibes. Yeah.
Warning. Incoming salad vibes.
You got a boo and a salad vibes for that one. I don't like that quote, but let's keep going. Why is it when Mike talks like I always feel like when Mike talks it's like very smug. Like it comes off very smug no matter what he's going to say. And I don't know why. Right? Just in the very similar way in which people watch me and they're like, this guy's a meathead. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about, right? And validating everything that I'm going to enhance right now.
And I am discussing this is because I feel like I got to defend myself a little bit, and I have to defend my position on.
He doesn't. You don't. I mean, like, do you think anything that Montoya is doing is hurting SaltEMike's numbers? I mean, like, SaltEMike essentially could just ignore any fucking thing he wants. Everybody's watching SaltEMike and Star Citizen right now. He's the go-to for a lot of people. You can see it in the views. You can see it in the analytics. I mean, like, really, why should he even fucking care? You know what I mean? Like, like really Montoya, in terms of the amount of viewers that Mike has versus Montoya, I would say Mike probably has a lot more viewers than Montoya does. So, it's kind of like, maybe is Montoya doing this to get the viewership over to his channel, Yeah, Erad says, and Sig love SaltEMike too. I noticed that they always talk about SaltEMike. Right. Like, look at Citizen Con, look at Jared referring to SaltEMike. They're giving, this happens all the time though. Like I've seen Jared focus on Star Citizen content creators, and he usually focuses on the most popular at the time, right? Mike has a very well produced show, really good audio. It's very clean, right? Like, he's done a lot of work to get it to the point to where he's at. So, there is that. And, his takes usually are pretty decent. I generally find Mike wants the game to become a reality. He just gets frustrated a lot. And the things that the people gravitate to him because he goes on these rants and he gets super frustrated. And it's funny to watch him have these meltdowns, man. It's like it's his thing. It's his gig, but some of his takes I don't agree with. That's, the thing is like, we've all been doing it. Like, a lot of the content creators, we've all been around a really long time, right? And I don't like those people that kind of take their time to poke and dig at the content creators directly. I would much rather focus on their opinions and what it is that they're saying rather than the person, because I'm sure all these people in real life would be cool to hang out with. I would hope. I mean, that would be my hope. that these people in real life aren't like bad people. But like that can kind of get projected. That can kind of get projected. Those images kind of like get projected from the people watching, and then it circulates and people kind of project like images. Like recently, mine is like I'm a white knight and everything. Everything's great with Star Citizen. Like I'm this white knight. But then like if you go back to 2017, 18, I was like a naysayer, and it's kind of like what people are projecting onto other people.
On the whole PvE versus PvP thing. I am widely understood to not PvP in this game outside of FPS content. And I am widely understood by the PvP community to just be a Bob. In Discord, type SaltEMike into the GIFs section, and something funny will come up from a member of the PvP community, literally making fun of me for not PvPing and being bad at the game. But
I mean, I saw him in a situation where he's in a PvP situation. I think he held up pretty good, to be fair.
Montoya made a reaction video to my video, I guess, in some way, where the thumbnail, I have to look at it again, says I'm shaking PvE meltdown. None of these things happened. And then it starts out like this, which I think is not really fair or anything like that. But you can do what you want.
Oh, good. Look at this. We got like a little reacception thing going on here. I'm glad that my screen setup is set up this way here.
I'm 99% sure now. And like I said in my video, anything that I said towards him, I was like, this is speculation. I don't know. I should probably talk to him. But yeah, we're not going to do that now. So
Montoya is always going to champion Star Citizen in Montoya's way. Montoya is like the gladiator of Star Citizen. If you guys aren't familiar with Star Citizen, project's been around 10 plus years. I call it the everything game. And, there's plenty of content creators that cover this that are passionate about the game. Montoya is passionate about the game. Mike is passionate about the game. I'm passionate about the game. We all have different takes at times. But, like I would say that Montoya, generally speaking, is a positive influence and likes to speak more positively about the game. And he kind of champions it, in the content that I've watched from him. He still has constructive criticism regardless. A lot of people call Montoya the ultimate white knight. He's just kind of like the gladiator of Star Citizen. He's just going to fight it out, and he's going to tell you that Star Citizen is going to become a reality. And he's just going to tell you his point of view, and he's very passionate about the game. So, that his type of character and personality rubs counterintuitive to Mike's personality. Mike also very passionate about the game, but in a different manner. So all you're seeing here are like two different personalities with some friction. Really, this is more of a personal thing than I don't understand this. Because you have two people that are passionate about the game, that want the game to become a reality, and yet you've got this. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
This is how this video starts. I'm about to spew some bullshit.
I love this though. Listen, that is Montoya's character. Mike knows this. This is the thing that gets me, right? Like, Mike knows Montoya's personality. He knows this is Montoya's shtick. Montoya's shtick is this. Mike's shtick is this. And now you've got these two guys, what? They're fighting over each other's, like, personality traits? I don't understand.
I think.
SaltEMike, literally shaking and vomiting at the idea.
Literally shaking and vomiting, man. That's funny. Come on. See, if I were Mike, I'd be laughing about this. I've had plenty of people say bullshit about me, and I just laugh it off.
That
man.
Something in this game will not have PvP in it.
Did any of that happen in the video? The shaking, ignore the shaking and vomiting. What was my video about?
I don't know. I didn't watch the original video.
What was my video about? It was literally saying how we shouldn't separate PvP and PvE in a shard, but we need to have a better PvE experience. Okay.
I agree.
Okay. That was the point. The entire
Okay, I agree with that.
video. So, number one, he never watched it. Number two, he's farming. Number three,
he may have a point. Mike may have a point here. Maybe he's just doing the farm.
I'm going to farm back, but I need to defend myself, because if his video sits out here and he says what happens, and there's a fun part of this. If he says what I said,
I love nerd fights. I don't know how you cannot be entertained. Like, nerd fights are some of the best fights on the internet.
And he is saying that I'm doing these things without that actually happening, then that...
Can you believe two grown-ass men are going at it like this? That's what's funny, dude. Like, if you saw this in the real world, this is like... this is like going to a bar and two dudes are sitting at the bar and they're arguing at each other over a game, but they're having like sparkling water while they watch a football game. you know what I mean?
Lie or that misrepresentation sits out there and then eventually becomes the truth. And for this one, I can't let that happen. I feel so strongly. I love Star Citizen, and I feel so strongly about this, that this is what Star Citizen needs to be, is this incredibly strong PvE experience that helps feed the people who want to PvP. Now, by feeding, I do not mean seal clubbing minors or anything like that. Or
listen, you know, you're going to have to realize in lawless based systems, it's pretty much going to be anything goes. So that's one thing that Mike should understand. It's going to be lawless. Like, there's not going to be really any type of restrictions in lawless space. If you want the type of action that Mike is talking about, then you're going to have to go into systems that aren't lawless. The rewards that you can get from lawless based systems, I mean, the risk has to be elevated for those rewards. The risk has to be insane to reap the rewards.
Or people who are running bounties or something. Like, there's a real reason. If you ever noticed, when you run bounties, there's not a secondary mission for unlawful players to attack you for running bounties. Have you noticed that? Whereas if you're a criminal, there's a mission who literally tells a player where they are. Like, there's this balance that needs to be there, and I think Star Citizen tries to strike it, but has failed miserably over the years, obviously. But here we go.
Yeah, right. Soriel, exactly. I watched that too. Soriel says, I remember Mike's exact reaction during a Mongrel Squad hit when he stopped complaining and decided to fight back and had a great time with it, laughing his ass off. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking about Soriel when I said I saw him in a PvP situation, and he did quite well. Like, he held his own quite well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Montoya. I put out a video a couple of days ago talking about how Star Citizen needs a PvE server. Let me come clean. I know that was a little bit clickbaity. It is physically enough.
And just to be clear, this video is
right. I remember watching
clickbaity.
Physically, it is technically impossible.
Okay, listen. Listen. I don't even think Montoya would do anything. Do you think Montoya would farm Mike? I don't know. I think Montoya is just expressing himself the way Montoya does, man. This is Montoya. Does Montoya really need to farm? I mean, like, he has the largest organization. The CEO leader of Test. Do you honestly think that's a valid question? Don't you guys think? Does Montoya need to farm? He has a pretty good sized audience. It's not as big as Mike's. I mean, in terms of his YouTube content. I don't know if it's a farm. I don't know. Let's keep watching.
Possible the way this game is designed, for there to be pure PvE servers, it's just there's too many ways that you can go around it. I don't think we'll ever see a way that there'll be a pure PvE any area in this game, to be clear. But I wanted to take the extreme position on this because I wanted to see the reactions, and Mike delivered perfectly on this.
Yeah, obviously, because the thing is you're not just going to see the reactions, like. We're going to get threads. Well, I mean, these are all reactions, obviously, but we're going to get threads. We're going to get people trying to push for that. Now, you didn't just take the extreme position. You have the largest org in the game, and you literally told people to push on this. Now, what's really nice is I had members from your org, Montoya, talk to me about the OP in the video that you posted from Reddit, come to me in the comments and said, you know, like just really nice things. I would actually have to look at the comment. I don't want to speak out of turn, but all I remember was my comment to him was like, "You're a legend," like, you know, good job or whatever. Like, you're allowed to share your opinion. You're allowed to share your feelings. And when you put them out there, other people are allowed to disagree with you as long as they do it somewhat respectfully. And I'm not going to lie. I feel like I did it respectfully in my video. Maybe other people don't feel that way. I always run through this.
I don't know what he's talking about here. I have no clue what he's talking about.
Just being from New Jersey, I come off like a bit of a dick. I don't know. It's a Northeast thing.
It's a Jersey kid thing.
Not really my intention.
I get it now. I get it.
Typically do that. And it usually comes down to when you're an asshole to me, you're going to get an asshole back. And that might be what's happening here.
There isn't a clearer example of Twitch privilege than watching some of the Twitch streamers who believe they control the wheel here. They're driving, and only their suggestions are the right ones.
When has this? I defend my position strongly whenever I have one. I don't know what that has to do with Twitch. Montoya, we have 500 viewers on Twitch. We're literally nobody. Like,
yeah, like really though. To be fair, what Montoya is saying, he's worried that the influence Mike has is greater than other Star Citizen content creators, so that because he has such an audience, let's be real. Mike is saying like, hey, I only have 500 people watching me on stream, which, you know, in the Twitch world is nothing. That's a little fish. Mike is right about that. However, in the Star Citizen world, when you have 500 people watching you, that's a pretty large audience in the Star Citizen world. So, you know, let's kind of break this down here. 500 viewers on a Star Citizen stream is pretty damn good. That's a pretty big viewing that's a pretty big viewer audience for Star Citizen stream. And what Montoya, I think, is worried about is maybe that Mike's voice is monopolizing the Star Citizen space. However, there's a reason Mike has 500 viewers watching him. Because people are entertained by Mike, right? So I guess Montoya is worried that the things that Mike says might be the only things that matter. And, you know, he's not out of line in terms of his worry, because I've seen Cloud Imperium and Jared focus on everything that SaltEMike says. Like, they're so focused on SaltEMike and what SaltEMike thinks about Star Citizen. That's not SaltEMike's fault. That's not Mike's fault, right? But, you know, Mike's just being Mike, doing what he does, right? But I'm seeing both sides here. I get it.
Just because the Star Citizen community is this big, you do understand that we have no privilege, no say. No.
Hugh says Burks has more viewers than Mike regularly, so I don't think that it is a valid complaint. Yeah, I mean, Burks, how many viewers does Burks have on the regular? I'm not quite sure what the numbers for Burks are, but I would still say that 500 viewers on a Star Citizen stream is considerable. That's a pretty good size Star Citizen stream. Yeah, 800 plus. Yeah, but I wouldn't call him a small fish in the Star Citizen community. I would call him a small fish in the Twitch community, but I would not call him, you know, so the way that Mike's kind of constructing this, like he's a small fish, yeah, for Twitch, but not for Star Citizen.
Nothing. Right? Like, it doesn't It literally doesn't matter. Number one. Number two, I literally have a podcast. It sucks. I hate it sometimes because you get too many people that agree with your opinion because it's on your channel or whatever. But that's why I brought in a host that is generally more on the positive side of the game, where I'm more on the negative side of the game. So we start getting back and forth and start getting community members come in that share opposite opinions of myself. And I think the show's a lot better for it. And the reason that I did that was because I don't think that my opinion is the end all be all. I have never thought that my opinion is the end all be all. But if I got news for you, the name of the channel has my Twitch channel name in it. The name of my main channel has my Twitch channel name in it. My Twitch channel name has my name in it, just like yours does. So my opinion is the end all be all on my channel, right? Like what am I going to do? Am I going to share other people's opinions like in an opinion video? Like the whole point is for me to share my opinion.
Mike's just saying common sense shit right now.
That's the whole idea behind this. You did it. You put your opinion on the internet, and I disagreed with a part of it, but I did not disagree with all of it. He brought up Eve. He brought up all these things, and I continuously said in this video, which you will not find out in this video from Montoya here, that I consistently said that he gets it. He is on the pulse of these things. And, you know, when people were like...
Yeah, Pote says, whenever I see Mike, it's always some drama, or am I wrong? I would say that most of the drama comes from the fact that there's so many viewers. Like, he has so many viewers wondering what he's going to do next. And a lot of the viewers can stir shit up, too, as well. I don't think that Mike is a stranger to the drama. I think it only helps him out. So sometimes I feel like he'll lean into that. I feel like he's going to lean into the drama a little bit. So in a way, he's kind of farming that himself for himself. So that his kind of mechanism for bringing more people to the channel. But it's all part of doing what it is that he's doing, which is basically gaining viewership and gaining market share. Right? He's just leaning into it a little bit. That sometimes to me can be a little disingenuous. You know, I haven't watched enough SaltEMike, honestly, to tell you, to delve into that angle. But I get what you're saying, Pote.
Getting kind of angry at Montoya. No. Squash that down. We're not going to have that. Right? Nope. We're not going to do that. You have, just hear him out because he's actually right. He keeps going on about this PvE server thing and trying it. I don't agree with that very minuscule part of his video, actually. And I agreed with a lot of what he said about just PvE content being better, safe places for players, let the PvP kind of exist, but allow players to enjoy themselves. And then the whole everything taking forever.
This has always been a problem in an MMO. And any title out there, this has always been a problem, and no real developer, no publisher has done this correctly yet. I mean, there's been a few that have gotten close to it, but it's always hard to find a balance between PvE and PvP areas, and then to blend them together. It has always been difficult for an MMO to have both PvE and PvP exist at the same time and everybody be happy. I don't think you're ever going to do it. I don't think you're ever going to make everybody happy. Right. But there is a balancing act here. And I think in a way that what Cloud Imperium is trying to do as Star Citizen by making systems lawful and unlawful is to separate PvP from PvE and then have the ability for PvEers to go into PvP spaces if they want for more reward. That's what we're seeing. Like the addition to Pyro here is great because you're seeing basically Pyro and Stanton function as the new security layer. You're seeing the security system be upgraded just by adding a system that is unlawful. So you're kind of seeing like security 1.1 with the addition of pyro here. And they're going to look at this, and they're going to look at the interactions between gamers that are going from Stanton to pyro and vice versa. My biggest thing is that the rewards from pyro have to outweigh the rewards in Stanton. In order for this to work, because there's more risk in unlawful space, there has to be a higher reward there. Like everything in pyro should pay out a lot more, and I'm talking a lot more, so that people understand the difference, so that PvEers will dip their toe into the PvP side of things, and that PvPers generally stay in pyro, because those are where the mainstay of rewards are. Because you want to drag the PvEers into the PvP areas so that the PvPers have people to pirate. You guys get what I'm saying? And I think the only people that came close to doing this correctly, or the only game, there's a few games, but the one that stands out to me the most is EVE Online, and how they separated system securities by high sec, low sec, and null sec. I think that's about as close. It's not perfect. It is not perfect, but it's about the closest I've seen to a functioning system where PvEers and PvPers can generally do their thing. And I think that's what Cloud Imperium's shooting for.
To get started too. Some of the things that he said were, blown out of proportion, disingenuous, whatever. Pointed those things out. But in general, I agree with him. But you will not find that out in this video.
Have this wonderful parasocial relationship with their viewers, who continue to lick their shriveled nutsacks, who just congratulate them on every idea they had. So Michael,
yes. Oh, yes, because that is what happens in this channel. I am consistently shit on by this community. Consistently told I'm wrong, consistently argued with, and my nuts are not licked by these guys. Okay?
I mean, here's the thing. Heavy is the crown. He has the most viewership. I would say that Mike on YouTube has probably the most viewership on Star Citizen. So Heavy is the crown. When you're king of the hill, you're going to continually be the focus. People are going to focus on you. People are going to look to you. Some people will get jealous, and some people will try and shoot Mike down. Like I said, Mike is, at the end of the day, I might not agree with everything that he has to say, but like, you see Montoya, I don't know if Montoya is farming. I don't know if he's trying to get like market share from Mike. I don't think so. Right? I just think these are two separate I think these two personality types, I think there's just friction with the personality types. I understand Montoya's personality, and Montoya's just going to be Montoya. I understand Mike's personality, and Mike's just going to be Mike. And those two personalities don't mix. I would love to see these two get into a Star Citizen podcast together. Like, for me, that would be very entertaining to watch a Mike and Montoya kind of podcast together and hear what their thoughts are, where Star Citizen is at, the focus now that the Cloud Imperium has with the tech, and that they want to focus on stability. Thank God. I would love to hear that talk. I think these two could be adults in a room here and have a podcast together, and I think it would be really entertaining. They're two different personality types. It might need to be moderated.
And my comment section is consistently filled on YouTube with people who do not agree with me. And I don't remove their comments. And I try to have a back and forth. So this is the typical, like, I feel like we're doing politics here, and I'm not okay with that. So that's literally why we're watching this, is because of comments like this at the beginning. I think this is kind of where it ends, because he then goes on to just share his opinions again about the PvE thing. And again, most of them I generally agree with. But let's see.
And declare that his opinions are the right ones and the best. And he'll also sit and...
Yes, obviously, I think my opinions are they're my opinions. Like, I don't get, like, that's what a fucking opinion is. I'm so confused. This is coming from the guy who, I don't know where this started.
It's the jersey. It's the jersey. Because this is the thing that when people watch Mike that don't like Mike, they go, oh, Jesus, Mike thinks he's right about everything. Well, he does. He does think he's right about everything, and it gets to you, right? It gets to me. Like when Mike says something that I don't agree with, the way he says it is so fucking smug. And I'm like, dude, like if I disagree with his opinion, the way he says shit, he's like, you know, this is it. This is the fucking answer. And he's right. That is his opinion. But that gets you a little mad, doesn't it? Right? Because it sounds like, oh, shit, well, okay, you think you're so right that nobody else's opinion matter? So a good question to Mike would be is like, do you have the time to actually listen to somebody else's opinion and maybe find the other person's perspective valid? Yeah, I think he would. I think this is just the jersey coming out and people just get pissed off at Mike because of his fucking personality and the way that he's projecting, you know?
But has reveled in the being called the fearless leader.
Not in a while,
by all of his
because
members,
my flight sticks,
right?
bro. I haven't played in a long time, but I love DCS.
And the thing is, you know, Montoya's done
what's up, Shep?
Plenty worse than I have on as far as the internet goes about holding his opinion and feeling that he is absolutely right. There are hundreds of examples, well, maybe not hundreds, but there are tens of examples of this. And, you know, if you don't agree with him, then you're mentally ill and all these other things. So,
see, I don't think either of them truly believe that in the real. Like, I think these two guys are fucking adults, and they understand that if I feel like there's a way that these two could get along. I really want to watch a fucking podcast with these two now.
You know,
like
you can make up lies about me, but we literally have facts about you on these things, right?
Spicy.
So it's pretty disingenuous. And once again, to be fair, I talked to Montoya about those things.
Rev is already like, I'm done with this.
We had a nice conversation about them, and there's no reason for you to be upset about what I just said. He understood when he had made those comments that they weren't.
Mad Style says smugness is most likely not intentional. People always say why I'm mad when I talk and when I am not. Dude, I hear what you're saying, man. With my face, everybody thinks I'm angry or mad all the time. Just with the face that I have, like my resting face, like DG resting face, people just look at me and they think that like I'm mad or something, or they stay away from me, right? And it's just like, no, that's my face.
Nice or anything like that, but like the bullying is not going to happen to me. You might be able to do it to people on the internet who are just writing in the comments and don't have the I guess what would it be? I've been around a while, right? And I'm not just going to sit here and get bullied by somebody or just have somebody just make up lies. So yeah, that's literally not what happens. My community mostly hates me and makes fun of me, and that's basically all of my content is them making fun of me for 1, being bad at the game, 2, being really bad at PvP, 3, having some horrible takes, 4, conversating about those takes, right? And things like that. No, yeah, I don't think they generally hate me, but yeah, those kind of things. Now, let's continue. I think this is where his stupidity at the beginning stops.
Dissect every single thing I say, try to pick it apart. No, I'm not going to.
That if I have any sort of level of problem that I would.
Yeah, I can't handle any more of this because this is like the Mike show, right? This is like Mike talking about Mike and how Mike is Mike. And, you know, I wish they would focus more on the actual issues of the arguments that they have between one another. Like, are we going to get to that at all? Are we going to get to the reasons why these two, like, what's the disagreement here? Just PvE and PvP and the nature of it and the game design and how they're going to implement it. I mean, you pretty much see what the direction is. I mean, like most of the adults in the room here can see the direction of where the game design is in terms of security. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer for both of them. They should get this. So everything else is semantics, right? I feel like everything else, I'm just going to keep going just a little bit. I almost kind of want to fast forward here. Like, I want where the issues are at. Like, where are the actual fucking issues at? You know?
Would love to change in my life, Montoya. I'm gonna push this back.
Yeah, this is like an ego. This is This is total ego battle right now, Pote.
Anything I would love to change and actually go see a therapist about, honestly and truly, it would be this.
Right ones and the best. And he'll also sit and dissect every single thing I say, try to pick it apart. Now,
I do this about everything.
What?
I do this to my wife, and she hates it. And she's the one who made me notice that I do this and how bad it is, right? I apologize for that to anybody that I react to their videos to. I do think it probably is why people enjoy my React videos. There are lots of React videos in the StarCitizen community. But the fact that I do that is part of maybe what makes the React videos maybe a little bit more entertaining, more engaging, whatever. But it's something that I'm not proud of and something I would love to change about myself, but it is what it is. So unless I, go through the ridiculous U.S. health system to try to fix those problems, yeah, and it's not something I'm, can afford to or want to do at the moment, then it kind of sucks, and I'm trying, but it's not happening.
now, I'm not going to go through Mike's entire video. I have things to do with my day.
Okay, that's my favorite.
Jesus, is he gonna even listen to Montoya, man? Like, Jesus, Mike, let Montoya speak here for a moment. Like, he's paused. Like, he's worse. You guys think I'm bad at pausing? I hear that all the time. Like, oh, DG, you pause too much. You pause too much. Are you kidding me, man? Mike pauses like a hell of a lot more. Put a 1 in chat if you think that Mike pauses more than I pause, for fuck's sake. If you think I'm bad, Jesus, Mike is pausing like he didn't even hear more. He didn't even hear a full sentence. Mike hasn't even heard a full sentence yet, man. Thank you. I would like, thank you. Fucking A, man. Like, wow. Yeah. I was feeling like this is a JPEG of Montoya, man. Pretty soon I thought he was going to be in Sig's ship store. We could buy like a Montoya paint, man. Like, what is this new Sig ship? It's called the Montoya. $125. It's a medium fighter.
Favorite part about this is he didn't watch any part of the video. He goes to Reddit, and we sit on my face or comment sections throughout the entire video.
Wait, Montoya does not watch any of did Mike watch any of this? Like, here's some criticism, right? So Mike's saying, hey, Montoya just basically sat on an image of my face and didn't even watch the video. I feel like Mike's doing the same. I hope Mike watched this prior to reacting to this, because I don't feel like Mike's even watched Montoya's video, man. These are two dudes that didn't maybe they both watched the videos prior, but to me, from what I'm watching, it's like two dudes that didn't even watch each other's videos or listen to what any of them had to say, unless Mike actually said, hey, I watched this video and these are the things that happened in the video. So, to be fair, maybe Mike did, but maybe I missed that. But like, from just watching this now, like, it seems like two dudes that didn't watch each other's videos
watched exactly 0 seconds on this video. So he told everybody what I said without ever watching the video. Without ever showing me shaking and vomiting, showing me doing any of these things that he said that I did.
I don't know.
They didn't
Onyx,
happen.
I don't know.
Right? They didn't happen.
Please tell me I missed it. Please tell me I missed this. Did Mike say he actually sat down and watched the complete Montoya video of Montoya reacting to the initial Mike video? Because I swear to God, it feels like to me that Mike is literally doing the same thing Montoya is. It's just a peen battle, man.
Agreed with this POV.
What's
he talked
up,
about
Wookie? How you doing, buddy?
So now, I would like to once again reiterate my feelings around this subject. is he brought up Eve in his video.
Okay, let's talk about the subject.
He also brought up Eve in this video, and he is 100% right about it. Okay. I wish I had the timestamp. I will paraphrase what he said, and I agree with it 1,000%. The whole way that Eve works, part of the reason that it works a little bit better than how it could work in Star Citizen is Eve is mostly a point-and-click adventure. Those were his exact words, and I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, it kind of is. So the whole, like, PKing PvP thing, the way Eve exists supports the idea of the high security, low security, no security stuff a lot better than the current way that Star Citizen exists.
I would say primarily because the NPC react. Like, if there was security in every system that like instantly reacted and just like insta-popped you the second you did some heinous shit in a lawful system, then it would be very much like Eve high sec. So you could actually mimic that in Star Citizen. It shouldn't be hard, but you know, in order to get NPC AI to work the way that it is just functioning regularly is difficult. So to expect like NPC AI to work the way that it needs to in space, not generally where it needs to be right now, but I feel like eventually it will get there. So you could have like an Eve type of experience in this FPS world, right? And in Star Citizen, flying in the cockpit, going up against other NPC that come into this and say, no, you're doing some heinous shit. Boom. That could happen a lot better. So I could see that being worked on and becoming a better experience. Like security definitely needs to get better all around.
So I would love for me and Montoya to stand side by side and say, something needs to give here. And we both agree on those things. What I won't ever agree with is that we need to separate each other in a shard or via.
The thing is there's got to be a balance so that the system security in itself is the shard. So that like a lawful system versus a lawless system. You know, like these are the separations. This is the way. I don't know why these guys are talking. Like this is just common sense shit. Lawful versus lawless systems. These are the secure. This is the way security is going to separate PvP from PvE. This seems like a very common sense. These guys know this shit.
Shards. In one shard, you need to have people PvPing, or you need to have people dying and losing stuff, right? You need to have people dying and losing stuff, and that is my main point.
You need the reward to be there. You need the reward to be equivalent to the risk. Risk and reward have to even up. Risk and reward. More risk, more reward. Less risk, less reward. Like that's it. It's an economic thing. It's all supply and demand based. That's why I always talk about the economy. Like in an MMO, the game's economy is really, really important. If they implement an economy, the game design on economy has to be chef's kiss.
Now, I want to show you something from EVE Online.
Because then everything happens naturally. It's all organic at that point. If you have a really good economy in a game, then all of that just happens naturally.
That is the point that I'm making. I don't PvP in EVE Online. Go look at my Z-Kill board, okay? Very little PvP. And most of my deaths are look at the ships that I'm dying in. They're in PvE content. But I'm going to bring up EVE Online here because it brings up the exact point of what I think should exist in the game. It's going to be hard to see, so I might do a little something here and make my UI scaling up to like 200%. Okay. And maybe not. Let's go like 150. Maybe not again.
Man,
I'm gonna have to make that box smaller and then do this.
I miss Eve.
Oh, it like actually screwed everything up. Okay. Regardless, this is a ship. Okay. And you don't need to understand what any of this stuff is because you probably don't. Crystalline isogen and 0-point condensate are here. And these two items come from PvE only content. But get this, and this is exactly something Star Citizen is going to do, and the exact point that I made in some arguments. This is coming from the only instance content in EVE. People in the EVE community lost their mind over this. These are called, it's called Abyssal Dead Space. You click this little thing up here. This is like a key that sends you to an instance where you PvE exclusively. Nobody can PK you. Nobody.
These types of fucking like safety nets inside of an MMO are absurd. You know, like if people want these safety nets, don't play a fucking MMO. This is what I don't understand. And this is exactly what Elite Dangerous did. You know, there were so many people bitching in Elite Dangerous that people were griefing them, and people were that they got their own solo play mode. And it's like, dudes, you guys are playing like a game with other people in it. If you don't want to play a game where you're going to get hit like that, then just buy a single player solo player game. You're playing a fucking MMO where everybody's logging into. There's going to be this, like, it seems like everybody wants to be safe from everything in an MMO, which just, I'm sorry, that's just not how it works, man. Like the fact that people are designing games to wall off people, like it's an MMO, multiplayer. You're logging in with other people. It's literally in the acronym. And when you get into the multiplayer experience, you're like, no players, please. Like, where's my little walled garden? Like, I don't understand that. Like, why are we making a walled garden for people in a fucking MMO? Like, what happened? Don't even get that. Like, maybe that's a hardcore view stance. I just see it as common sense, man. Like, I don't even understand that.
Nobody can PvP against you. Nobody can get to where
Peace
you
out, Chuck.
are. Okay? This is exclusively PvE content. It's a safe place. Sort of. It comes with caveats. When you use this key, there's a little thing that comes up and it says Abyssal Trace. And they can...
Yeah, I agree, Coop. Coop says this is all just hot air by the community. I think SIG has every intention of having PvP and PvE on all servers. Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? Absolutely, Coop. You're speaking complete sense. And you know what? Mike and Montoya should know this, man. Like, what is going on here?
Coop.
This is a fucking MMO. The only separations between PvP and PvE are not going to be servers. They're going to be actual areas in the game, and it's going to be lawful space and lawless space. That's it. End of discussion. Like, what is going on here? These are two veterans that have been covering this game forever, and what is going on here?
Potentially find where you are and get to where you're going to come out.
Yeah, Coob, you're right. I'm done with this video. Coob is absolutely right again.
Coob.
This is where I think people talk on YouTube videos because they just need the video, not because the words need to be said at such length. Keck says, I agree and disagree. Griefing can get out of hand. Absolutely. Listen, griefing can be an issue. You know, and this is so polarizing that I've lost so many people just by talking about what an MMO is. Because people are like, well, fuck you, fuck your views. Like, this is how polarizing. It's almost like a political talk. When I talk about PvE and PvP, it's like red versus blue. It becomes like a political debate. It's the worst polarizing thing. But I truly stand by my opinions that an MMO is a multiplayer experience. You're playing with other people, and that's the way it was fucking. Look at the origin point of an MMO is you're playing with other people. It's going to be messy. You know, but there are elements where there's griefing. It's over the top. Yes, completely agree, Keck. It can absolutely get out of hand. And the game designers, the developers are there to figure out what elements they need to put in the game to police it, right? And that's the balancing act I'm talking about that's very important that I don't think anybody truly has ever achieved absolute nirvana on. I think Eve has gotten the closest, right? Yeah. And you know, this is just like beating a dead horse. This is ridiculous. I'm just done. It's done. It becomes hot air. Coob's right. At some point, it just becomes all hot air. And, like, it shouldn't be this. There shouldn't be this much discussion on this. Why? The thing that there should be a discussion on is why two grown-ass men have talks about game design that they understand already. They know what's going to happen. If they don't, that would boggle my mind. Like, I'd be like, why do these guys even have an audience if they don't get the very fundamentals and basics of the way that the security design is going to be implemented in the game that they've been playing 10 plus years? I mean, is that on anyone else's mind?